Max.
Sam.
And Alan talking about movies. They may be best friends, but they always disagree.
Max.
Sam.
And Alan, I seen that.
You guys are from the YouTube channel NitPix, and that you guys have actually already been on twice, but this episode is going to come out about 2 months before those episodes ever come out. So, yeah, because I'm going to put this one out probably this week. So when you guys come on again, it'll sound like we've never met and never talked before, but that's all an act.
Right. But now, we're good friends now.
We're good friends with us in that podcast.
Yeah.
They're actually one of our Patreons.
Yeah, Alan's also like one of our probably like best internet friends out of the internet friends we've made.
Yeah.
We keep in contact, talk most fondly of him.
Yes, we do. Very true. And we're friends with some big...
Yeah, we know some big people.
I've always wanted to know Russell Brand.
You're right, mate. It's me, old Russ.
It's me, old Russ.
What is this tangerine of light that exudes from my face? Now let's talk about a moment of existence. Do you know what I mean? Because when we watch a movie, are we really watching a movie, or are we just existing? Well, does existence even really exist? I don't know.
That was a great Russell Brand impression. Thank you. Russell Brand himself.
Yeah.
So
made a caricature of myself.
So yeah, we're from NitPix. We do TV and movie analysis, and we're going to do a TV analysis off script now.
Yes, we're going to have a
Justice League.
Justice League! Worst superhero film ever made!
Yeah, so that, we talked about it a little bit when you guys were on before, but that's coming out in the future.
Yeah. It's like Looper all over again.
I had not seen it the first time we talked. I have seen it now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to have a lot more to say about it. Because there's...
Other than you've seen it.
Other than I've seen it, yeah.
What do you think of Justice League? I've seen it.
I don't think Justice League is an actual movie.
No.
I don't think it's a real film.
Well, yeah, it's because they're like, you know what? That 3-act structure, let's not do that. That doesn't work anymore.
You know character arcs? Let's just not have them.
You know characters?
Yeah.
Who needs them? Like, we've got rubber costumes. Basically, the superheroes are mannequins.
Yeah, they are.
They could have put the suits on mannequins.
I actually think...
I believe they did that with Ben Affleck.
The easiest way to talk about Justice League is to actually just go through it, like, scene by scene. So it starts off with Superman being filmed on a phone camera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice the lip? Did you notice his upper lip?
Well, that whole thing was so weird. I knew about the Mission Impossible 6 and the Justice League drama that he had a mustache at some point.
Yeah.
But I could never really tell when it was because everything kind of seemed off.
See, it was very obvious to me. Sam didn't even know about the drama and he didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, you whispered it to me at the very beginning. You went, "Look at his lip, man." I thought you just didn't like Henry Cavill's lip. Something against his lip.
That's right.
I thought it was a bit weird looking, but I don't, like, on a phone camera, I think that it was better disguised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a complete rip-off of fucking Spider-Man
Homecoming, yeah. Because starting with the
vlog
screen. Yeah, exactly.
But, like, let's talk about, like, the opening scene in a film, like, is setting the tone and also setting the themes. So Superman's being interviewed by a little kid, and it's all, like, it's quite cute and it's quite funny. And then Superman's not in the film again for, like, 2 hours. Well, and, like, Justice is not about Superman.
Which DC movies have you guys seen? Have you seen
all of them?
Okay. I've seen all but Wonder Woman. But in
that's a shame.
Batman versus Superman, Superman was the villain. Basically, right?
What?
He was
Batman versus Superman.
Yes.
I think Batman was more of a
villain. Batman was way more of a villain than Superman.
In the movie, yes. But in the reality of the world that they were in, everyone was afraid of Superman at the time.
Oh, yeah, right.
And so, would kids be trying to film him? Because this is all before he died at the end of Batman vs. Superman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and also, like, everyone's like scared of him because they think he blew up like that building.
Yeah.
And then he dies, and then everyone goes back to thinking he's amazing.
Well, is it implied that is kind of before? Is this more of like Man of Steel era Superman? Although his costume still looks updated.
I don't know. I don't think it matters.
It doesn't.
I don't think they thought about it in this way. I think they're just like, we want Superman on screen.
Yeah.
We want to have a kid filming him. It's going to be great. Everyone's going to love it.
It's going to be fantastic. We're going to make Superman look all lovely. Everyone loves a good Superman. Hey, pass me another cigar.
And then after that scene, it's Batman. And this, oh man.
That opening.
What did they do? Batman. I didn't think they could make Batman worse.
Yeah, no, this is the worst Batman we've ever had.
George Clooney's Batman is better than Ben Affleck's Batman.
I don't know.
This is a stance we're going to take.
He is better.
Because he at least plays a more convincing Bruce Wayne. Because his face actually moves. Ben Affleck's face didn't move this entire movie.
It's just filled with Botox.
To me, it just looked like it was filled with Botox and regret over doing Batman because his indie film didn't do as well because of it. I think that's what he blamed Batman for all on.
So that first scene, right? He catches the criminal, goes back to the Batcave, talks to Alfred, is like, "Hey, we're going up north." Gets in the plane.
Can we just put on a point? The reveal of Batman where he's standing on the ledge, right? Do you remember the reveal where the camera like pans, he's standing on the ledge? In the cinema that we were at, everyone laughed.
Everyone was
the crowd laughed at that reveal. I don't know if you got that, but me and Sam burst into laughter, and everyone in the cinema laughed with us. Yeah. But then there's also point out that then he captures the criminal, and he's like, what are you going to do with me? And he's like, I just want you to be afraid. And then the alien pops up, you're like, what the what is that? And then he fights the alien, then it explodes, and that never happens with any other alien.
And then the guy goes, it's because Superman's not here, isn't it?
yeah. But then also the alien reveals the 3 boxes.
Yeah.
And it's like, why does that? I think it's just a grunt.
Why would he explode into wall art of what he's looking for? That doesn't make any sense in any...
But also, what kind of detective work is that? The guy explodes and Batman goes like, what the f***?
Yeah.
But it's just a coincidence that happened to align, because actually that could have just been some weird stain. As far as we're aware, that's the first knowledge Batman has of that.
And this is the beginning of the film.
Oh, at that point
they go to Russia. So why are they in Gotham?
Well,
yes.
So
what are they doing in Gotham?
Kidnapping people, I think.
So he, like I was saying, he got in the plane and flew up north and grew a full beard before he meets with Aquaman.
It's a long journey.
I guess he must have walked for 15 days.
I thought it was implied that he rode a horse all the way there.
No, before we went to see Justice League, I said to Max, I said, well, look, I really love Batman. I'm upset. Me and Max both love Batman loads, and I said, at least the establishing of Batman in Justice League, they will do that tastefully. They have Batman hunt down a villain we know, and he'll be doing some cool shit, and we can be like, okay, Batman's cool. And then we saw that scene, the opening Batman scene, and we realized that was not going to be happening in this film. We realized that this entire film, Batman would be acting like a deranged lunatic.
and a bit of a pathetic weirdo as well.
Yeah. Well, this is So every DC movie, other than Wonder Woman, I believe, has had major reshoots. And I don't know how Warner Brothers hasn't figured out. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe let's stick with one vision and just move forward. Even if it doesn't test well, it's going to test better than this chopped together, pieced together.
It will make something consistent.
That scene with Batman was rewritten and reshot by Josh Whedon to be a comedic scene. And then in the edit, they went, no, this can't be a funny scene. And then they recut it to be more serious.
Because they said it felt too contrasting with the more serious stuff that happened.
So instead you've got a comedy scene re-edited to be dramatic.
That's the one thing Marvel does really well, I feel, is that they're pretty good about letting their directors kind of have room to breathe. I think in the beginning they were overbearing, but they kind of figured it out.
Joss Whedon left Marvel because he didn't feel like he had enough freedom after Age of Ultron.
Yes. But the Phase 3 stuff, it seems, I don't know, but it seems like they're giving them more space.
Well, it seems like they have a bit more of a balance, because actually, like, Thor Ragnarok, obviously directed by Taika Waititi, people are talking about that there's two very separate plots. Although I haven't seen it, people are like describing it as like being two almost separate films. You've got the very Marvel-esque, which is he's taking over Asgard, and then you have the more comedy-based stuff with Taika Waititi on like the sort of gladiator planet.
Mm-hmm.
And people are saying they prefer the more sort of the stuff that's a bit more different, but the actual conflict between Hades was very standard and not very interesting.
Yeah. I didn't like it. It did not work for me. It felt too meta for how all the other movies were. Like, there was like winks at the audience, and it just, I don't know. I don't enjoy that when that's not a thing already.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Because there's 17 other movies. Like, you can't just change, like...
You need to be aligned with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, is it better than Justice League? Did you prefer, or did you have more fun with Justice League?
That's a hard question. Because I went into Justice League with no expectations. And I feel like I just lost that time. Like, I don't, like, I just feel like that time just disappeared from my life. Where Ragnarok, I was more frustrated while I was watching it.
With Justice League, though, like, after that scene with Batman, I just turned to Max and I just was like, this is amazing. This is, it completely lost it. This is just going to be the funniest film of the year. And like, I was just grinning from ear to ear all the way through Justice League because of how, like, not a film it was.
See, me and Sam, like, had opposite reactions because, like, Sam was like that. I was kind of upset through the whole thing. Just because I was like, we're not gonna get, like, a good Batman now for ages. Like, we've got Chris Nolan stuff, but Chris Nolan stuff isn't like comic book Batman, right? It's like a crime thriller. Yeah. Well, not thriller. It's like a crime story more than anything. It's not comic book Batman entirely. He still doesn't do any detective work. And it's like, at the very least, so, like, we went with just hoping for, like, one very small thing, where it's like, Batman looks cool. Like, can Batman do something that looks cool? And I don't think that's a big ask. Even Batman v Superman did that slightly.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing we were hoping for, and it never happened. That never came to fruition. And so, apart from that, I was like, do you know what? Like, I'm not hoping for, like, anything else. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be but like but the reason I was so upset is that we paid to see this. I've given money to these people. It really bugged me. I couldn't deal with it. And I'm sitting here to have more confirmation that we're not going to get good DC comic book movies for a long time.
Well, I think they're giving up on the expanded universe idea.
You think so?
I think so. I feel like I heard that somewhere. I don't know if it's accurate, but I think if they can just make standalone movies, it's kind of like the comic arcs where they're just, this short thing and it be itself, because we don't need to know Batman's origin story anymore. We don't need to like see his parents die anymore. Like, you can just tell a standalone Batman story and do it well, and people will buy tickets to go see it.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the standalone Batman film. Like,
no,
literally no idea.
Ben Affleck's saying he's like left. Ben Affleck doesn't want to be a part of it anymore. I think that he's going to do like one more movie.
Well, you can tell through Justice League, because Ben Affleck is just looking like he doesn't want to be there all the way through that film.
He really does.
Line that Ben Affleck says is just so, he's so like, oh, what is this? Oh, and he just looks so like done.
He's so unemotional. He's so. I genuinely think this is because Ben Affleck released his own film that he directed, and it did really badly. And then in all the interviews, everyone was asking him about Batman. And so I think now when he was filming this, all he could think about was this film franchise has ruined me as a director.
Yeah, it has.
Which it has. It has. Like,
because Ben Affleck was known as a really great director. Everyone was like, oh, he's made some really great films. Like, he made Fargo, which was like such a good film. And now
No,
no
in Argo, didn't they?
Argo, yeah.
No, Argo.
He made Fargo and Argo.
Ben Affleck's the Coen brothers.
Oh, wow.
Both of them. But like, if you look at Justice League, every scene, every line is just like, is almost like a parody of a blockbuster film. Like, everyone talks as if this is the first time they've ever met. Like, Cyborg and his dad, that scene where he's staring into the microwave.
Yes.
And he's just standing in the corner, and he's like, do they know about me? And it's like, how long have you been a cyborg? You've probably been cyborg long enough to know exactly who knows and who doesn't know. It's not like you became cyborg yesterday.
I genuinely think you could make a pretty solid argument that Justice League is in fact like a postmodern art installation, which is there to shine light on the oversaturation of cinema, as opposed to an actual superhero film. I think it's more of that.
I reckon.
Because that's what I left that film going. I left that film going, wow, we're making way too many superhero movies. Like, the whole thing is
I think like the best scene in there is when Wonder Woman comes and stops that like weird, like, so they come into the bank. I think it's the bank.
I think it's worth saying, actually, every introduction of the superhero movie either like ruined established superhero movies because you haven't seen Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman was like good. It was like good. It was just good. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So with the introduction of every new character and old character, they simultaneously managed to ruin all of them. First, we've got Superman on the phone and his weird wet, and he flies off and it's weird, and you're like, oh, that makes me uncomfortable. Then you have the introduction of Batman and the entire cinema laughs, and then Wonder Woman comes in, and it's like, the scene is just weird.
Yeah, because like they're coming in to rob a bank, but then they're also coming to blow it up.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, oh no, we've already set up bombs all around the city. And then she just punches them. And it stops being a problem.
And it just looks really aggressive.
Yeah.
And like, they're trying to kill an entire family, and it's kind of really tonally all over the place.
Yeah, they're
it's
pointing
kind
a gun at the little children.
Yeah, and it's like, what is this meant to be, like, hope-filled?
Yeah.
And then you've got Cyborg, and he just looks odd, and he's staring into a microwave and arguing with his dad about things that
he looked awful.
He looks so bad.
And
it
just, that is unfortunate.
And then we've got the introduction of Aquaman, which also ruins Batman a bit because he reveals himself as Bruce Wayne to an entire village. But that's beside the point. Because how Aquaman does some things, and it kind of seems cool. And then he wades into the water and does this weird jump back into the water.
Yeah, he backflops.
He backflops into the water, and it looks really odd. And it's like, what? And also, he's got a lazy eye. He's because of the contact lenses. I'm pretty sure his eyes were going two separate ways, and I couldn't take my eyes off of that. Everyone's like, "Oh, Aquaman looks really cool." I'm like, "Bro, his eyes are wonky as shit." Like, the actor doesn't have that. It's the contacts.
Well, half of that, I guess, was reshoots. Like, when he jumps into the water, that's all green screen.
Yes, and that's why it also looks really weird, because it's like, can you remember that? Because me and Sam were in fits about that. He like wades into the water, and then he's like, "You've dressed up like a bat. That's really weird." And then Batman's like, "Will you help me?" He goes, "No." And then he just kind of feebly. It's like a sort of thing a child does when they're in the waist high pool bit. They're just like, "Woo!" And then he just goes.
And oh my god!
Did you guys see the trailer for Justice League? Did you guys watch the trailers?
Yeah.
I feel like the trailer established Bruce Wayne asking for help, getting help, and starting the fight so much better than the movie did.
It doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. There's this really funny scene, like one of my favorite scenes, when it's where it's set in the Amazon, and like they walk into the room where the cube is being stored. And like everyone in that room is aiming arrows at the cube.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They walk in and are all aiming their arrows at the cube, but like nothing's happened. So like,
I think it was shaking.
No, that starts later. It starts shaking later.
It's like glowing slightly, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're just aiming their arrows at it. I guess that's just what they do. They just take turns aiming arrows at the cube. And she walks in and she's like the leader. And then coincidentally the cube starts moving at that point. that she walks in.
And then Steppenwolf,
And then
the greatest
Steppenwolf
PS2
teleports.
villain of all time.
he teleports in, and they all start fighting him, and then the cube becomes like, it doesn't weigh anything, and they can like tie a little piece of string around it and fire an arrow, and it will go like miles ahead.
The physics.
Yeah, the physics. And they're like playing catch with the ball, with the cube, and they're like trying to stop him from getting the cube. And,
And can we talk, I'm so sick now of like DC villains starting to invade the world, but never really kicking it off and being stopped just before anything starts. Like, it's the case everything, and all of them, they don't want to take over the world. They want to, like,
change the world.
They want to change it
atmosphere,
so the atmosphere is different every single time, and it's like, stop.
Well, do you guys read comics?
Yeah.
And so I'm not a huge comic book reader. I've read a few and some growing up and stuff. I don't remember the villains ever being like they are in the movies. Like,
well, a big, like, this is what's crazy is, like, DC, like, genuinely really has this over Marvel. Like, Marvel's got some really good villains, but, like, DC just genuinely has, like, a lot of superb villains, like, very, very good ones. Particularly the Batman comic book enemies are really good. I mean, I guess apart from that, like, Flash has got, like, the yellow Flash.
He's got yellow Flash.
Yeah.
Evil Flash.
Evil Flash.
He can also run.
And, but like, they're just doing the same villains as Marvel's doing.
Yeah.
Stuff in the cinematic world at the moment is piss poor, man. There's no good villains going on.
There was Christopher Eccleston in 4-2, The Dark World.
Yeah, he's the best.
He was such a great villain.
Even like, because they're managing to like really ruin the people they've got good as well. I mean, they ruined the Joker because Jared Leto is trash. And they managed to ruin Lex Luthor, who actually in comic books has been like a really, really great villain. And like, I've read some comic books where like Lex Luthor is just fucking cool and like works really well as a villain to Superman.
Yeah.
And it like, obviously in Batman v Superman, it's not even that he's like, bad, he's just super forgettable because it's very generic how they portray him as a villain because he's all like, oh, I'm a quirky man who'll put sweets in your mouth. Watch me go.
well, I like to assume that's Mark Zuckerberg from the Social Network. That's just part 2.
Yeah, that's right. Me too. It makes the film much more
I really
entertaining.
like Jesse Eisenberg as an actor, and I was really
I do
excited
too.
to see Lex Luthor, and I was also really excited to see Ben Affleck as Batman. Like, everyone like was criticizing him, but I thought he could have been good, and the same with Henry Cavill. Like, I thought he could be good.
Henry Cavill,
And like, you've got Jeremy Irons as bloody Alfred.
Yeah, I know.
And he's an amazing actor. And you have him, he's like such an amazing actor. And you have him in Justice League making like really weird jokes and kind of not really belonging there.
He's so overqualified.
Yeah, he's so overqualified. Alfred in Justice League.
Like, Michael Caine, you could argue, was overqualified for Alfred in Dark Knight, but then they made that character an actual character.
Yeah.
With, like, actual really, like, good lines and stuff. One time in Batman.
There was a diamond the size of a tangerine. It's just like, no matter what, it's like, Alfred, is there any butter left in the fridge? One time I was in Burma. I've heard this story, Alfred. You tell me it all the time.
But yeah, so, and then Steppenwolf is just, it's just another example of just complete superhero movie oversaturation, because it's like Steppenwolf is interchangeable with like Apocalypse from X-Men Apocalypse. Yeah. He's interchangeable with fucking any villain from like Marvel. Like, you go.
But to be fair, Steppenwolf is just as well developed and just as interesting as any character in Justice League.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, he's no different. Like, I don't know why everyone attacks him. Like, oh, the villain's so boring. Like,
Everyone's
the hero
boring.
is so boring. Like, there's a scene where Wonder Woman and Batman are arguing about whether they should bring Superman back from the dead or not. And like, you could swap both of their positions. You could have Superman saying no and Wonder Woman wanting to bring him back, and it wouldn't matter because they have such, like, they don't have characters.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense for either of them to be arguing for any of these
This
things.
is one of the things that I noticed is, like, after watching like Wonder Woman, they really like they really like filtered Wonder Woman as like a character in Justice League because she doesn't do anything. And like if you look at her in Wonder Woman, you would feel like I genuinely feel like it would have just been a better fit if she'd started recruiting the Justice League team and was like the leader, because she's the one person who's been established as in any form like as heroic.
Yeah.
And like the moment she's there, like Batman just says all and she's pretty meek to him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's kind of shit, man.
Yeah,
like that's
like
Batman. Yeah, like she pushes him once, he's like, oh, you hurt me. And then he makes her feel all bad over her boyfriend. And I'm like, that's not really like how Wonder Woman was in the film. Like she was pretty no bullshit. Like very like about justice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so she says very little in this. Like this film is like much more focused on like Batman, Superman, and Flash and Cyborg, and Wonder Woman is like barely like has much interaction. She's kind of like has the similar role to Aquaman, except she's a bit more established because of her previous movie. But all she is there as, like Aquaman, is like muscle to do some fighting. Yeah. But she never has any input as a character.
All the Justice League do is they band together to bring Superman back from the dead so that he can stop the bad guys.
Yeah, that's about it.
And that's another thing as well, is it just makes the entire rest of that superhero roster seem completely useless. It's like they do fuck all.
They're getting beaten by Steppenwolf, and then Superman turns up and they
get beaten up
fighting this guy.
They get beaten up by Superman, and then they get beaten up by Steppenwolf, and then Batman and Steppenwolf just sort it out. No one else does anything. There's no sense of team.
Yeah.
Did I say who? Did I say?
You said Batman.
Oh yeah, Batman. No, Batman does less than anyone.
Batman's just during the whole final fight scene. Batman's just holding a gun, and I don't know where he is. They keep cutting to Batman in a corner holding a gun. I don't know where he is in connection to any of the other characters. He's just standing there. I don't know what he's doing, and then. The final shot with all them standing. Did you look at Batman during that shot?
Not particularly.
Basically, it's all the Justice League standing on top of a rooftop. And there's Batman, and for like 10 seconds he's just staring like completely blankly, and it looks like he's having a stroke, and it's so funny. It's so funny. Because they're all standing heroically posing, and Ben Affleck is just staring into the distance.
And his shoulders look really fucking weird, and he's in this odd pose, and his costume looks doofy. It's the only way I can describe Batman is that he looks really doofy.
Yeah.
And what I genuinely think is Ben Affleck was like, first of all, like trying to move his face because he's had a lot of Botox, but he was also resisting the edge of passing out because this costume was really hot. And then the producer was like, "That's perfect."
Yeah, that's amazing, Batman. You should do.
Well, I think he also gained quite a bit of weight.
Yes!
In between.
Flabby Batman!
He's so flabby.
I feel like we're back in the 50s with Adam West Batman. He's jiggling all about the place. That's why in the scene where Wonder Woman like pushes him, he doesn't take off his shirt.
Yeah, I swear he was supposed to be shirtless in that scene, but he wasn't because he's so flabby. He's got like a beer belly.
Yeah, well, because I think it was in between the reshoots too. Like, I think he filmed everything because there were some scenes, he looks like he gained 20 pounds between scene and scene.
Yeah, it's regret eating.
And a beard.
He's been stuffing the donuts ever since the Harvey Weinstein stuff came out.
Yeah, he's just like, oh god.
And the mask, his mask looks so strange in this movie.
Oh god. No. I mean, look, I didn't really like how he looked in Batman v Superman that much. But in this one, they really made his fucking scowl look huge and weird. Again, really aligning with the Adam West Batman. Cause he's got that drawn-on scowl. I think that's what it looks like.
Literally, is there any argument you can give for him being a better Batman than George Clooney?
I haven't seen the George Clooney one in a long time, but that one was all camp. And I feel like, cause it's also, Batman vs. Superman is in my brain as well, right? So,
in Justice League, all Batman does really is bring Superman back from the dead by accident, and he has what's her name? Lois Lane as his backup.
She's the big gun.
She's the big gun. She's the big gun.
Could you imagine if
Superman just tore her apart?
Yeah, like
just destroyed her.
Batman was like, look, don't worry, I've got this really good backup plan. He's not going to hurt any of us. And then he brings Lois, and then like he's like, bring in the big gun, and it's Lois Lane in a limo, and I'm like, that's your big gun, Batman. You're the world's greatest detective. Really? You are like, if there's a 1% chance this man could turn evil, then we have to eradicate him. And now you're resting everything on this woman? Are you dumb?
Well,
because if he did tear Lois Lane's head off, then he's created 2 problems, and Batman would be dead. But like, don't worry, I forgot about it immediately because there was that really great line where he's like, "Oh, I'm bleeding all over" or something, and he said it in a really funny way. Remember when Batman said
and he's
that?
on the floor,
and he's like draped across it like a princess who's fallen off that horse.
Let's make Batman really funny.
I don't know if you guys remember in Batman vs Superman, but the Flash comes back and talks to Bruce Wayne.
I remember that.
He tells her it's Lois. Lois is the key. And
is that what that is?
I think so. I don't know.
Oh my god!
I don't think that's it.
What?
You don't think so?
If that is it, that's the worst thing in the world, though.
It has to be. What else would Lois be the key to?
To tell him.
I mean, like, but like, what, like that? No, there has to be something else where, like, if they'd done that. They first of all, that's a really janky scene to put in just for that.
Well, they could have had a bigger plan. Like I think Superman was supposed to be
evil.
Evil a lot longer and more dangerous.
Like DC, Warner Brothers said that DC had to make the movie less than 2 hours long, which meant like there were like immense cuts because originally it was 2.5 hours long.
Why didn't Batman decide to bring his parents back with the cubes? That's what I would have done. If I was Batman, I would have taken my parents up to that fortune of solitude and made zombie parents come back, and then I wouldn't need to be
it's just like, this movie just shouldn't have brought Superman back and had the Justice League, that team that they established, just have them defeat Steppenwolf. And at least then you're like, oh, all these superheroes are pretty legit. Like, they're pretty competent. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But instead, like, they do nothing. Like, all their job is to undig Superman's corpse, bring him back to life, which is pretty fucked up.
It's so fucked up when the Flash and like Cyborg are just digging up Superman's grave. Like, what? Like, why is that scene in your film?
The first thing they do as the Justice League is they unbury Superman's corpse. They get together, they're like, right, we've got this great team together. What's our first step? Let's undig Superman's corpse.
Bring him back with a cube. And it takes like 10 seconds for them to realise the math of bringing Superman back from the dead.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, this cube is really powerful. It could be used to bring people back from the dead. Right, we'll get Superman. That was it. That was it.
Yeah. Man, this movie is not good. The one thing I really thought they did cool was when they were fighting Superman and Superman saw the Flash coming and turned his head. And I was like, oh, that's something you haven't really seen before. But that was it.
No, because they did it in Apocalypse. Have you seen X-Men Apocalypse?
Yeah.
That same thing happens in that.
I'm trying to remember.
Where X-Men punches up Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Quicksilver. Did I say X-Men?
Yeah. Quicksilver is the X-Men.
It is me, X-Men. Where Quicksilver punches out of Apocalypse, and you're like, oh, hell yeah! And then he's running circles around him, and then like Apocalypse is like upside down, and you just see his eyes like flutter, and then he's being able to keep track of Quicksilver, and then he like cements his foot to the ground.
Yeah, I mean,
they already did it, man.
Quicksilver's just better Flash than Flash at this point.
Yeah, Quicksilver is better Flash than Flash.
They do so much. He's got so much of a better character.
I would say that like the only thing, like, I think the Flash was the least, like, he was the closest thing they had to an entertaining character.
No, he was the worst character of them all. He was so annoying.
No way was he the worst. Batman was the worst.
Let's hear him out.
All his jokes, they were just so obnoxious and so needy. Like, give me attention. And it was not enjoyable to watch him on screen. Anytime he talked, it was painful to watch.
See,
There's a bit where he's like, "Oh, I'd never saved anyone before," but then in Batman vs Superman, they show a clip
Suicide Squad.
In Suicide Squad, they show a clip of him saving someone from a bank heist.
From Boomerang.
From Boomerang.
Yeah.
He arrests Boomerang. So is Suicide Squad set
In the future, I think.
after Justice?
I
Or do you
don't
think
know.
they didn't think about it?
They probably didn't.
I don't think they
about
thought about anything in this.
See, my argument to the fact that Flash is like the most like the least bad character. I was going to say he's good. I just think he's the least bad character. Is that he's the only character to me that seems to have any kind of consistency and to make any kind of sense as to like what he's doing, because they frame him as this really dorky, like lonely kid, but they kind of maintain that. And like at the end, he kind of becomes more heroic, and he learns how to save people. So he has like that little. It's a really weak little hop, but it's an arc. But like Batman,
like
on
a
the other hand,
speedboat.
Batman's always like. First of all, Batman fluctuates between movies because first of all he hates Superman. Now he's Superman's boy and loves him. But then he's like fluctuating between making jokes and being kind of sinister, but he's always framed in a funny way against the director's decision. Like. Wonder Woman and Aquaman aren't even characters.
Aquaman's amazing because he starts off being like, "I don't want to work with you. I'm too cool for school." And then they do that weird. They do that weird joke where he's sitting on the lasso of truth. It's just really weird because like after that, Aquaman doesn't say anything again. Like that's the last thing he says.
No, except when
he goes, "My man, my man."
I thought the lasso of truth scene was actually pretty good. I thought that was funny.
I did not. It was funny.
You know,
It doesn't make sense.
Nah.
It doesn't make any sense because it's like so forced.
It was so forced.
Because it's like they've done nothing as a team and they've had no discussion. Like as a team, they've had no like.
There's been no bonding
There's
at all.
been no bonding at all. And he's sitting on the lasso of truth and he's talking about like how great everyone is.
And also, like, Aquaman at no point indicates anything like that at all. Like, there's no... The thing, again, Aquaman and Wonder Woman to me were just mannequins, man. They weren't doing anything.
I love how Aquaman just sort of turns up and goes, "Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll help you." Doesn't even stop the water.
Oh yeah, and that scene with Commissioner Gordon where all of them
my God!
are on the roof.
Yeah, I was just like, Justice League, avoid medium shots. Just don't show everyone in full costume, please. It fucks up your movie.
One of the things, if I could animate, I want to make a YouTube channel where I film or I make videos about another angle. So instead of showing all the Justice League how they escape, because how do they do it all at the same time? They must have had like a code word or hand signals. Like, why would everyone but the Flash, who can see everything in slow motion, be able to disappear at once?
Yes.
I mean, bro, it's a dumb fucking movie.
It was just I think they were probably seeing the writers' room. They're like, "Oh, you know how Batman always disappears?" And they're like, "Yeah, how about we just make all the Justice League disappear?" And they go like, "Oh, it's kind of far fetched." And like, "No, but it'd be funny." And they're like, "Okay." And then they just did it. That's it.
Because in reality, they would be like tripping over each other and like bumping into each other.
Aquaman's an awkward man.
Yeah.
I can't see where he would have gone.
I mean, his expertise is in the water. I think he's pretty new to the land.
If I was Flash, I would have been like, "What? Where are they? Where are they?
Yeah, where's everyone gone?
Hello?
What's the plan? I don't know where to run to. Commissioner, do you know where they go?
Did you see them?"
Well, I imagine they're just on the other side of that little building on top of the roof, the stairway exit.
Why is J.K. Simmons Gordon just for that? Just for like a series of really weird scenes, like where he's in the police station and there's pictures of bug people, and he goes, "Yeah, I know they look like Batman, but trust me, it's not Batman."
Even though they don't look
anything like Batman. Well, and then the scene changes, and you're like, "What was the point of that scene? Are they going to frame Batman? No."
I feel like that there was a much different movie intended from everyone involved. That Zack Snyder had one movie in mind, Joss Whedon had one movie in mind, the studio had a different movie, and they're like, let's take a little bit from all of it and try to make it all fit.
This is the one film that if they do release an extended edition, I'm very interested to actually see what that is. Like the other movies, I was like, nah. But this is so weird and erratic that I'm ready to watch it again because I still can't believe that it exists.
I can't wait to watch it again.
I'm starting to question if that's Warner Brothers' business model. Let's put out a terrible movie that people want to see so we can sell the extended cut for a little bit more money than they would have paid just buying the normal one.
I mean, the thing, well, maybe, but I mean,
I don't think so.
This movie,
I don't know, they keep doing it.
This movie really, like, it underachieved. Didn't Thor Ragnarok, like, outdo it?
Yeah,
4-3. 4-3 outdid
the first ever Justice League
That's
film.
like, could you imagine, that's like Spider-Man 2 outdoing the Avengers. Like, that's like Amazing Spider-Man. No, it isn't really.
It's like
That's
X-Men
like-
2 outdoing
That's
the
like the
Avengers.
Green Lantern film Green Lantern 3 outdoing the first Avengers. That's what that is.
Yeah, that is what that is.
That's exactly what that is.
Like, no one gave a shit about Thor. Like, everyone knows.
And Thor 1 and 2 are not very good.
No.
Yeah, no, they're not good.
And all the Hulk films are not that good either.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So there was no reason to assume
this
that
was
that
like
would
the
do
end
well.
of Phase 1 for DC. This is their big movie, and Thor 3 outdid it. That's like, if I was the producer or had anything to do with this movie, I'd be like, we've fucked up.
Well,
guys.
did the Emoji
Just
movie
say.
outdo Justice League?
Probably.
Because
Look
that
it
would
up.
be the biggest insult. Let me see.
Shall I look it up?
Look it up. We're gonna find out.
We're going to
The
do some
emoji-
research
this
here
is-
at I Seen That Pod.
Now it's getting professional.
It's getting too...
How are we gonna even look this up? Did Emoji Movie outdo Justice League?
Yeah, just Google it.
Alright, but like, here
Is
we
the
go.
Emoji Movie in canon with
Alright.
Justice League?
I
I think so.
Yeah.
Is there
I actually
anything
think Lego
Batman?
is like better than anything DC have released. I think it's better than Wonder Woman.
I didn't even
Really?
like Lego Batman.
I don't
Yeah.
even like Lego Batman that
I think
much.
the
either.
Lego movie Lego Batman is better than all the other movies. Lego Batman
that's what
is
you
kind of
mean.
on par, I think.
What?
Okay, so Emoji Movie made 215 million in box office.
Keep in mind it was probably out longer.
Justice League box office made.
So 215 million.
It's the one to beat.
Didn't, because I'm pretty sure Batman...
481. No.
No, it was not even close.
What's the
Emoji-
opening weekend?
Oh, opening weekend.
Because, I mean, I know Justice League did really well in, like, Asia. Like, I know it did very well
Them
in Asia.
Asians love Justice League.
Well, it's just a big destructo
It was
thing.
not
Opening week is 93 million. 93 million for Justice League. That's opening weekend.
And the Emoji Movie made
24 million.
No, Justice League thrashed Emoji Movie.
Yeah, I mean, not
I don't know where you got
surprising.
that from.
it was a shot in the dark. But the Emoji Movie doing a quarter as well as the Justice League movie is, yeah, that's a bad insult.
Yeah, Thor Ragnarok has made more.
Yeah,
and it
Thor
made
Ragn-
more in the opening weekend as well.
Which is, shocking. That is really shocking.
That's
'cause
really
this is
shocking.
the third movie of an obscure comic book character whose two other movies weren't good. That's absolutely
One of them is directed by Zack Snyder and Josh Whedon, and the other one's directed by
Taika Waititi, who's like a good director, but he's an indie director. Like no one like knows about them. Like that's mental, man.
So I was talking to you guys on Twitter about the story arcs throughout this movie.
Oh yeah, that was really funny.
And I made the joke about how the only story arc is the family that's trapped in the house. But I legitimately can't think of another story arc throughout the movie.
The Flash getting his dad out of prison.
No, he doesn't
He
get his
doesn't
dad
get-
out of
he gets a job.
He gets a job.
Flash
Those
gets a
scenes
job.
are so weird. Like, I'm gonna like Flash now that his dad's in prison. Like, it doesn't make me like Flash.
I always liked Flash. He's my favorite character
Ever.
ever. Full stop. Ezra Miller. I think the reason I like the Flash was not the least bad is because Ezra Miller was the only actor who seemed to have any enthusiasm about what he was doing.
That is
That's
true. But I feel like I don't know. It was.
I believe Gal Gadot had enthusiasm about what she was doing.
Sorry, can we just... There's a thing in Justice League when Batman is in a random warehouse, I don't know where he is, and Wonder Woman comes over to him, and they have a talk, and then it cuts to Wonder Woman giving a monologue, explaining the plot, and we see, like, old, like, Lord of the Rings visuals, and this is like half an hour into the film.
Yes.
So it's like, who is Steppenwolf? And it's like, eons ago, Steppenwolf. And then it cuts to them in a park. They're like in a park now. Walking in the park and carrying on the conversation. And it's like, wait, so did they go from that weird warehouse to a park? Like, how did they get there? And is she just doing this whole backstory while they're on like a bus or while they're driving somewhere?
I like to think they stop talking until they get to the next location. They just sit there and quiet.
But they're talking as if the conversation's ongoing.
That's, yeah.
Like, there's no check. If they paused, they went, and then she stopped mid-sentence and just walked down. Batman was like, what the fuck? And then follows her.
It felt like they should have been like, oh no, we really fucked up. Like, we've got this scene with Wonder Woman, and then we've got another scene with Batman and Wonder Woman, and like, we want to put them together, but it doesn't make sense for them to change location. And they're like, why don't we just explain the plot, like, during the gap? Let's get Wonder Woman in, get her to record a monologue, and we'll just paste that in between.
It's so fucking weird. But I want to ask you guys, is there a scene that you could say that you, like, actually liked to some degree non-ironically? Like, you don't like it because it's ironic. Like, the film actually achieved what it wanted to do, and there was some percentage of you, like, enjoying it legitimately for what it was trying to do. If you had to choose one scene, what was the closest it got to that for you?
When they fight Superman.
Yeah, when the Flash runs up on Superman for about 5 seconds into that. And then it got really boring again.
See, I couldn't even get over that because I couldn't stop looking at his lip, like legit, like his lip was still. I couldn't even do that. Like,
I mean, you said if you had to, and if I had to, I'd choose that scene.
See, because for me, it's a mix. It's the scene where they're digging up Superman.
Oh, that's just surreal.
No, but this is what I mean. Is like I liked it on two levels. I was like, that's the only scene where they're having like a conversation that's like human. Which is odd considering what they're doing. But like, it was the only time it's like Flash and
Cyborg. They were self-aware of what they were doing.
Yeah, and they were talking about it. So I'm like, oh. Like, it was the only time the movie seemed to understand what it was at any moment. So it was the only time that I could like it for what it was. But then there was that other part of me that also likes it for just how weird it is to get your superheroes to dig up the corpse of Superman.
Well, can you guys explain, so when Batman is in the Batmobile fighting off, and then they come and save him, I had no idea he was sacrificing himself. They're like, what are you doing? Why would you do this without us? I was like, wait, what's going on? Why? When did this become a suicide mission?
Is when they're a Suicide Squad. Is when they're just before they go in, they're like on a hill and they're looking down. I think one of them has binoculars and they're like, that's the compound. And Batman's like, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna draw all the enemies away while you guys go in and like stop their. And then they're like, what, you're gonna go on your own? He's like, yeah, this is what
obviously,
I'm gonna do.
Obviously they're all saying that because they know Batman's. So
yeah, they know he's going to die
without powers. Yeah, which they really love to emphasize with Batman's complete incompetence through this whole movie.
But can I also point out that they're like, look, guys, we've got to bring Superman back to life. That's like we can't beat him unless we bring Superman back to life. And they decide to bring Superman back to life. They bring him back to life. He goes evil. He brings out the big gun, Lois Lane, and then Superman flies off with Lois Lane, and they never talk about Superman again until he just turns up. Like, the whole, like, plan, which is they can only do with Superman, they just shrug it off and go, I guess we can do it without him.
Well, my question about Superman is, did he become Clark Kent at the end? Because his friends had an open casket funeral for him.
Yeah.
Oh, how?
Clark Kent just arrives and he's like, oh,
Pranked.
I wasn't really dead and neither was Superman. What a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
But Superman doesn't have glasses and I do.
I also just remembered what Wonder Woman's actual arc was in this film.
What was it?
It was her becoming a leader, like learning to become a leader,
Did
which
she
is
lead?
really out of field. Because it's like, Batman before is like, oh yeah, like, he challenges her, and then Alfred's like, that's a bit harsh, and he's like, she needs to learn to become a leader or something. And then by the end, it's like, Batman goes to sacrifice himself, and then she's like, yeah, I called the shot to save you, and it's like, I'm a leader now. But it's like, what? Yeah. That's out of nowhere. That's just to create a really arbitrary arc for Wonder Woman. It doesn't, like, align at all with the last film. So dumb.
George Clooney is a better Batman.
We were going to repeat the point.
George Clooney is a better Batman. I'll tell you why. He's consistent. He actually, like, gives Robin a bollocking when he makes a mistake.
Okay.
You know, he looks... Bollocking is like when you...
I was just going to say, the movie is so much worse. Do you remember the Bat card and the Bat skates?
No. Justice League is the worst superhero film.
Justice League is the worst superhero movie ever.
Catwoman, Elektra, Batman and Robin are all better films.
Better films than Justice League.
And because they all have plot and they all have characters.
They all have, it's something you can actually follow.
Here's what I'll give you. Batman and Robin is a better movie. Justice League is a better superhero movie.
No. We're not even going to take that.
Because Batman and Robin is so far away from what the comics are, at least what the good comics are. At least Justice League is tonally close.
No, it's not.
It's not. The story's awful. There's no arc, there's no acts, there's nothing going on.
Justice League doesn't have a tone. Justice League does not have a tone.
Yeah.
They give it dark colours to make you think it has a tone. It does not have a tone. You've got a film where it opens with Batman hanging someone off a building because they can smell fear, and then the thing blows up, revealing the map. What tone is that?
It's not good.
What tone is it? It doesn't have one.
But I'm saying it's closer. There's nothing happening, but like you could take each part out of the middle of another story and it'd still be okay.
Here's what I'll say is like, even if you believe that it's closer to the comic books, that doesn't make it a better movie. Like,
no, that's what I said. Batman and Robin is a better movie. But I think Justice League was more true to the characters. So when you say George Clooney is a better Batman, that's a tough.
I would argue that Batman and Robin is more true to its characters, because here we have the Batman and Robin dynamic is much more like faithful to actually what it's like in the comics. Batman is a leader, right? In the Batman and Robin movie, he leads, right?
Yes.
He calls the shots. He makes an actually concise plan that doesn't depend on anyone else. It's just the Batman crew that it needs.
And he does detective work at some point.
He does some tricks and stuff. He's got the rubber lips to trick Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Gadgets.
He uses gadgets and stuff. He's genuinely a very competent character, much like the comic book Batman. In Justice League, Batman does no leading, depends entirely on Superman, when Batman never needs to depend on anyone else. Batman is self-dependent. That's his whole thing. His parents died. He needs to depend for himself.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how the Dark Knight comic arc went, because that's kind of what they're trying to base it off of. Is the Dark Knight?
What, you mean Return of the Dark Knight?
Yeah, the Dark Knight Returns.
No. That's Batman v Superman.
Yeah, Batman v Superman
but
based on
the character.
They're trying to base the character of Batman. Yeah, well,
being older,
if they're trying to base it off the Dark Knight Returns Batman, they're really, really off.
They're so off.
Because that is not what the Dark Knight
Returns Batman would never be on the floor going, "I'm bleeding everywhere."
Yeah.
That's
everywhere.
And he would never say we need to bring Superman back to life. Yeah, and argue with Wonder Woman about it. He would just do it if he wanted to.
But he wouldn't, because he hates Superman.
Yeah, but he wouldn't.
I don't know. I can't give you George Clooney being a better Batman. I think
Dude, you can't argue George Clooney isn't a better Batman.
Yeah, you can't argue with us over it.
Well, Batman vs Superman for sure. Ben Affleck was better than George Clooney.
I'll give you that.
And so,
and it's still close.
It's still close.
Because in Batman v Superman, Batman is just a complete, like...
He's not a hero at all. He's murdering everyone. And it's like all of his logic. Also, the Batman and Robin Batman has more of a logical brain than Batman v Superman Batman and Justice League Batman. Because Batman and Robin Batman wouldn't go, oh, if there's even a 1% chance that Superman could go evil, we have to kill him. That's not what George Clooney, like, I'm pretty sure most Batman would go, that's a bit unreasonable, to be honest. Most Batman would be like, that's a bit unreasonable. 1% is very low statistics. I'll just make a plan for if he does go evil. Well, but I'm not going to do it.
Batman is supposed to be the smartest one of all of them, right? Like, he has a way to take out everyone.
Which exists in the Batman and Robin movie, but isn't present in the Justice League or Batman v Superman movie. George Clooney's a better Batman. George Clooney is
when was the last time you guys watched that movie? Because I feel like
yesterday.
Did you watch it yesterday?
I watch it every day.
Because I haven't seen it for like 10 years at least.
Mr. Freeze is a better villain than Steppenwolf.
Mr. Freeze is a better villain than Steppenwolf.
Oh man, that movie is not good. Justice League is really bad, but Justice League is more of a disappointment of what they could have done. And where Batman and Robin is not I don't know, it's not fun. It's a kid's movie, like.
It's a kid's movie. And
it's tonally consistent.
It's tonally consistent.
It's got characters.
And the plot makes more sense.
I agree. I've said that it's a better movie for sure. But.
And Clooney is it's closer to the comic books.
But him being a better Batman is a tough pill to swallow. I don't know if I can give it.
No, he uses his gadgets, he has like a better Batcave, his relationship with Alfred is better.
He's a more convincing Bruce Wayne.
He's a way more convincing Bruce Wayne than Ben Affleck.
But okay, so is it Ben Affleck's fault or is it the way the movie was put together?
Both, because Ben Affleck did not give a shit about this movie.
If Batman v Superman was good, then it wouldn't be Ben Affleck's fault. But because it did so bad, Ben Affleck doesn't care anymore. So he could have definitely added so much to his performance in Justice League, but he obviously didn't care.
There is line deliveries in that movie which, just with a little bit more attention to it, or like an awareness of the comic book character that you were portraying, could have been done a bit better. Albeit it's difficult, but Ben Affleck could have done he could have done a better job.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
This movie, you're right. He didn't. He phoned it all in. He was
Ben Affleck's Daredevil is a better Batman than Batman.
Yeah, it plays Batman better when he's in Daredevil.
Yeah, probably. But Daredevil is better than George Clooney.
Have you seen the Daredevil director's cut?
I've not.
You've already asked him.
Yeah, I think you asked me last time.
I ask everyone that.
Yeah, you're desperate.
I'm desperate to find another soul who likes the director's cut.
Also, Aquaman's Atlantis is really underwhelming compared to bloody Wonder Woman's land. It has all these castles and stuff, and then Aquaman's Atlantis is just a bit boring.
It's that one fight scene underwater where everyone's really slow, and I'm like, I hope there's so many of these.
There's only one Atlantean guarding their cube as well.
Yeah. Also, can they not communicate until someone makes an air bubble?
It seems that way.
I don't know.
That seems really inconvenient.
It seems super inconvenient.
They should have just made all of Atlantis one giant air bubble.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the solution. That's the solution.
I don't know why they chose Aquaman. I don't know why they were like, let's make Aquaman cool.
Yeah.
Because that's what they always want to do. Everyone's trying to make Aquaman cool.
Aquaman was not cool.
He's kind of cool.
I would have made him really nerdy.
Hello! I can talk to fish. Do you like my fishes?
Well, the
glub. That's how you communicate.
I feel like the CW has been doing a better job than the DC Warner Brothers stuff.
That's like Arrowverse?
Arrow, yeah, the Flash. I don't watch Supergirl. No.
I listened to your podcast on Arrowverse, even though I hadn't seen any of the Arrowverse episodes.
Yeah, with Ross.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no interest in them, but
it's better than the Justice League.
I think someone asked me on...
I was talking about your podcast, sorry.
No, that too. That is better than Justice League. What is the Justice League better than?
Nothing.
No.
Come on. There's got to be something.
It's better than £7 with Will Smith.
Is it better than Maze Runner?
Yeah.
I've read
It's
the
better
books, but I didn't watch the movie because I heard it was awful.
Okay, because you can enjoy Justice League as a bad movie.
I really enjoy Justice League as a bad movie.
You can enjoy it as a
so
bad
happy.
movie. If you remove your emotions, you can get a lot of enjoyment from how
I think it's
fucking
better.
shit it is.
I think it's better than 4.
Yeah. It's better than boring movies. It's better than boring movies.
Yeah.
It is. I will probably get more enjoyment out of watching Justice League than I would about watching Batman and Robin. But
Yeah.
Batman and Robin's still a better movie and has a better Batman.
Yeah.
But Justice League is like a shit show. So watching fucking show disintegrate in front of you.
Justice League is great. Like, I actually
Yeah.
think Justice League is like probably one of the most enjoyable films I've seen.
Now that I've kind of gotten over like my frustrations about what happened and what could have happened, I could watch it again and laugh at it.
I'm gonna buy it on Blu-ray when it comes out.
Yeah. And like, I mean, it made me laugh a lot.
It's so funny.
Yeah. So it's better than like a lot of boring movies. It's better than Thor 2, but not as a movie. Like it's not doing what it wants to do, right? But like if we take it for what it is, it's probably one of the worst movies.
We might make a huge NitPix video on Justice League.
Do you have to wait till that comes out on Netflix, or can you guys just do whatever you want?
Well, no, we don't.
Yeah,
we just did one on The Evil Within, which isn't on Netflix.
No, yeah, it's on Amazon. Is Justice League better? Because I think this is like our modern day Star Wars prequel trilogy, right?
I reckon so. Yeah.
So is it a better movie or worse movie? Prequel trilogies. Or like, let's go like Phantom Menace.
The prequels are so boring.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas Justice League is a shit show. It's more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the prequels were pointless until the last 30 minutes of the last movie.
Yeah.
Where they did things we already knew anyway.
Yeah. Like, up until that point, I was like, oh, this is awful. And I was a kid. I was like 12, 14, 15, right around that age where it's like prime Star Wars watching, and I did not enjoy it.
You can tell even as a kid when you're watching something that's slightly crap.
Yeah.
You can tell. Yeah. Well, not slightly crap.
Like
I mean,
very
crap.
Whereas like, I think a kid could go into Justice League and have a time. Like, I think they could have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because there's a lot of spectacle, even if it doesn't look
With kids, I'm going to make them watch Justice League every day.
high volume, like MK Ultra level torture, like repeated every day in their bedroom.
Get them to quote the lines at me
So
before
they
go
can't
to sleep.
Yeah, but it's all still playing.
Yeah.
Like, we've got to stop Steppenwolf!
I
You've got
think
some
that's
hi-fi speakers in their room.
I think that's what the movie was made for, was kids and
Torturing your child.
foreign markets. I talked about this on a previous episode, but living in Thailand, I've seen a few movies in Thai, and it's really easy to project, oh, this is what they mean, or this is what they're trying to do, and then you just kind of fill in the gaps, and it makes a lot more sense until you see it, what they're actually doing, and it's like, oh, well, I like the idea that I projected onto it better than what they're actually telling me. And I feel like if you go and see...
It's a bit more abstract.
Yeah. You go and see the Justice League, and if you are filling in the gaps that don't make sense based on the dialogue, it could be a decent movie just based on what's on the screen. Cause it's not the best looking movie, but there is a lot of impressive stuff.
I would say it's like I think it's terrible looking, but it's also very like colorful. Like, so it's like if you don't care like a lot about movies, or if it's not something you actually invest a lot of time into, like that's something you can't enjoy.
The whole Twitter and that sky, that looks like shit.
Oh god,
that looks so bad.
But also, all the superheroes when they're doing any form of action look very rubbery, like super rubbery. Wonder Woman's opening, she looks like a bloody plasticine figure. Batman whenever he's doing some roly polies looks like just a flubber. It's just also even the Flash. His limbs are flailing about like a pound spaghetti. It's a mess.
Definitely not the way you run fast.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast.
But yeah, no, I think Justice League was made for the Transformer market.
Yeah. But I don't think it was. I just think it happens to align in that market because I don't think Joss Whedon or
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder, that's right. I don't think Joss Whedon or Zack Snyder would ever fancy themselves as Michael Bay-esque directors. But this movie, as it's come together, that's the market that it will be falling into.
Yeah.
The thing is even that crowd has gotten a bit like done with it as well, like because Transformers are just slowly doing less and less well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we are getting close to sort of a blockbuster, like sort of new wave, because what happens is audiences generally get bored.
Yeah,
and a new film will come out.
I mean,
in the next 5 years, a new blockbuster will come out that isn't a franchise, isn't a superhero film, it's just a good blockbuster film.
And people want
like
it.
Looper.
Yeah.
Which is how you make a blockbuster. Or Zoofora, which is also how you make a blockbuster.
It's just all going to be time travel movies in 10 years from now.
And then that will dictate the market.
Because
people want more films like that.
What I was saying is I've even got that personally a bit with like Infinity War. I saw the Infinity War trailer and I'm like, there's nothing in this that I feel very excited about.
Yeah.
Like that's, once again, looks like a big CGI villain and like, I don't, like the characters don't seem to be doing anything particularly interesting.
Oh
that I
yeah.
haven't seen
Why don't
before.
you go on your little Spider-Man rant?
Well, I'm really bummed out because I think the Spider-Man Homecoming Spider-Man costume is probably like one of the best superhero costumes. I like costumes. I think it's the best superhero costume that we've had to film yet. It's like one of the best Spider-Man costumes. So I think it's really cool. And I just like it, all of its features and stuff and how it looks. And I'm really tough that like after the first movie, they're already going to be giving him that really shitty Iron Spider costume. Like I think it looks really bad. I think it looks like a really, shimmering mess, and it's so CG and weird looking. It really has upset me because I'm like, just stick to the Spider-Man Homecoming costume. He looks great. He's so colourful, and that's so comic book Spider-Man. He was also making sense within this tangible world. But this Iron Spider costume is it's like fucking so many bells and whistles. It's like, look at how colourful and shiny and cool it is. And I'm like, we already have this with Iron Man, man.
Well,
it's like, I'm done with that.
Do you think that they're setting him up to take over for Tony Stark? Not necessarily as Iron Man, but as that to kind of fill his role, because he's probably done after Infinity War.
Well, he is done, but I
think Stranger
Doctor
Man.
Strange. Doctor Strange.
Sherlock.
Doctor Strange.
Dr. Sherlock.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things season 2. Why it's not
Stranger Things season 2 take over as the new leader.
No, but Doctor Strange is going to be the new leader of the Avengers, probably.
Yeah.
Or
I just mean the utility, the taking over what he can do in the Iron Man suit.
That's a shame though, because Spider-Man should have just have his own thing.
Yes.
Because Spider-Man's like abilities are pretty good, and like I just like my main gripe is like first of all I don't really feel interested at all in Infinity Wars. No. I don't really feel that interested in Black Panther. I didn't go see Thor Ragnarok. I'm not going to see another DC movie at the cinema. Like I'm like going to refuse now.
I'll see Justice League 2.
I won't. You can go, but
Jesse Eisenberg is making a league of their own.
Yeah, I'm done with it, man.
Did you guys stay for the post
after credits?
No, we didn't stay for that. We saw the weird race between Superman and Flash, and we were like, and then it ended on City Beatles cover, and we were like, we need to go.
Yeah, the Come Together cover.
Come together right now over me. We're just like, no.
Not only did you ruin my favourite superheroes, you also ruined the Beatles. Yeah. Great job.
I said to Max, like, oh, how fitting that they end on a Beatles cover, like just as an extra you.
Well, have you guys seen the what comes after the credits, at the end of the credits?
I know that it's just it's Deathstroke
and
yeah. Meeting up, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he meets up with Lex Luthor on a boat, and they decide to start the Legion of Doom, I think.
Even that reveal is pretty like basic and uninteresting, because we already had that with Amazing Spider-Man 2, and even then I wasn't excited because I'm like, oh, a league of villains. Do you mean like the Suicide Squad?
Well, what ruined superhero movies for me is when the first time I heard, oh, superheroes are just our cowboy movies of this generation. I was like, oh, that's too true, and it's a little sad. Because cowboy movies are not very good. And superhero movies are definitely going to die.
They will die, but they died in the 90s too, and it was Batman and Robin that killed it. And
yes.
it might be Justice League that's killed it this time.
For me, it's going to be...
Spider-Man 3 did a pretty good job too. So did X-Men 3. Number
So,
3s
for me,
are
I
always the
think-
worst.
X-Men 3 is, oh god, what a film.
Jeez. But I think, for me actually, I think it actually rests on Infinity Wars, because if people go see Infinity Wars now, and it feels like another by-the-books thing, like Avengers Age of Ultron, if it feels like that,
And
right?
no one will see the sequel.
Yeah, if it's not inspired, it's going to be, if it's just going to be, look at all these characters, look at, like, remember Guardians, remember all of this, wow, it's all coming together. If that's all it's going to be relying on, people are going to shut off, I reckon.
Yeah.
And that's the concern. Like, cause looking at the trailer, it doesn't seem like it's that inspired as a movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know? I hope that DC never stop. They're carrying with the DC expanded universe for the next 20 years, and even though they lose money, I hope they just keep doing it. They just keep doing it. Ben Affleck's like 60, and they're still doing it. And like they don't change.
Botox, so
They
it doesn't
don't
look different at all.
They don't learn or change anything. They just keep it. They keep it janky and keep it like reshoots, and like it never changes. And they just keep making them.
Yeah, I hope that too.
I really hope that.
It can only, if you do that for that long, it can only get worse and worse and worse. Or you just make something amazing.
Do you want to hear what me and Max would do if we were running Marvel?
No.
Marvel. Oh yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
We've got a plan for if we were running Marvel.
If we were running Marvel, we wouldn't release anything for 6 years. We'd just stop. We'd do Infinity Wars and then we'd stop for 6 years.
Yeah.
And then we'd release...
No, we would have stopped before Infinity
Yeah, we would have
Wars.
stopped, but like, whatever. If it was right now we're in charge, we'd finish it, get the films out, and then cut everything, stop everything for 6 to 7 years. Don't do any trailers, don't do anything, and then just like the day before, just announce, oh yeah, we're releasing the Marvel extravaganza.
Yeah.
And it's a 7-hour Marvel thing with everyone in it.
Yeah, every single character. It's like
Daredevil.
It's a 7-part movie. It's 6 years built up. 7-part movie. Everyone's in it. Netflix original characters. There's a whole movie dedicated to what they're doing.
X-Men are in it.
And not only that, you've got your own part, which is dedicated to the villain. Everything gets developed. Everything's amazing.
It's like 10 hours.
Yeah, and this is it. Everything. But we also like charge double for every ticket. Like, people have got to see it. Because it's been 6 years in the making. We've built the universe up. And like behind the scenes, we've been buying everything. So we establish like every character. And it's like 7 hours alongside some Netflix series and a TV series.
It's like Daredevil and Spider-Man for like half an hour to 45 minutes. And then it all like coincides at the end.
It just gives you everything you want. And that's it. And then we just take another 7-year hiatus and come out with something even bigger. And it's just these huge Marvel superhero operas, like the biggest the cinema has ever seen. Because it's like, okay, we've established the universe now. Now let's just give them the entire universe.
Just everything.
In like one story.
In one big thing.
Well, I think doing no trailers, doing no Comic-Con, doing none of the Disney Marvel like big showcase of like, here's what we're gonna do for the next 6 years. If they just release the movie, it would probably do better than it's doing now.
Well,
it just basically builds more hype because everyone's wondering what the hell they're doing.
At this point as well, like their movies will sell themselves. Like everyone has a vested interest in what's going on. Like until they give them like enough room, like until people stop engaging with it. But like by making our conversations always Marvel based because we already know what's coming for the next 6 years, or like Star Wars based or whatever, it means that will get to our limit much quicker.
Yeah.
When do you think we're going to order Star Wars films?
I think
about 2 movies ago.
I think Star Wars is going to maintain itself. It's going to,
because they said they want to release one every year for the next like 20 years.
It's too much. The fans, it's the people who like it that are exhausting. It's the people who make these fake YouTube videos of them crying at trailers that are exhausting. And it's just like,
that's my other channel.
Oh yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to out you.
Nerd Reacts.
Nerd Reactor.
Hi guys, so today we're reacting to the Avengers Infinity Wars. Let's go.
There's Echo.
Oh wow! Wow, it's the Iron Man! Oh, Iron Spider, wow! Oh, Black Panther, God, yeah! Oh, okay guys, so that was Avengers Infinity War reaction. I'm really excited.
I would just like to say you chose the perfect time to stop that bit because it was getting uncomfortable.
I was really willing to keep going. But like,
But yeah, no, I think Sam, or I think it was Sam, you mentioned that, or maybe it was Max, I don't know, you guys are basically the same person, that it's Disney fatigue more than anything else.
That was Max.
that was me. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Sam, I give you the credit.
That's okay. I'm the smarter one.
I mean, he runs the channel. I'm just here to be weird. I think what we've been able to start noticing is just like a Disney format. So like I said, like when we were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, we can talk in total about like the fact that actually like the complaints is just spread across all the Marvel movies. You know these beats, nothing's unpredictable in them, and the same goes for the Star Wars shit. And also that's why like DC's like fucking up, because all the main thing they're trying to do is emulate it, and because they're rushing it, they're emulating it very badly. So it really puts those issues on the surface. And with Marvel, that issue is still present. It's predictable. It's formulaic. But like they're able, because they put their time in, it's sort of paying off, but it's going to start getting tiring. And it's the same with all the Disney movies, because the Star Wars stuff it feels like it's kind of under the same umbrella as the Marvel stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're equating together. And, it is, Disney fatigue. Not only that, but you see it with the animated stuff as well. It's like, oh, what are you doing next? You're doing, make a 3D animated movie, Frozen, Moana, did they do Brave? Well,
Yeah.
Pixar did. Oh,
It's all the
whatever.
same, I think, right?
Is Pixar independent now? I think they are.
I think they were, and then Disney bought them, right?
Disney owns
Disney owns this
the world.
podcast.
But like you can even start seeing it with the animated. I don't know how many people were that interested in Moana. I know it did quite well, but like it didn't seem as big as like Frozen
Kids
or
love
Tangled.
it.
Yeah,
Kids love it.
My
I guess,
kids do
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, there
I've
you go.
seen it way too many times.
I've seen it with my own eyes.
I've seen the kids go crazy for it.
But there is a clear formula for all of these.
Well,
different
Disney were doing
strands.
some quite cool stuff with animation. Like Wreck-It Ralph is quite like non-conventional, but then it does follow quite a conventional story.
Well,
I
it's the
guess.
conventional story, and it's the
The emoji movie, basically.
the emoji movie. But like, it's also, isn't it like that whole thing of like, the good guy turns out to be the bad guy?
Well, it's the
like
people who make the
subversion.
Minions movies. Like
Giant
they're the
movies.
real. No, this is Illumination,
Illumination, you're right.
and they made the emoji movie.
Hang on, sorry, did you just say Illuminati?
Oh God.
Oh my god.
We figured it out.
We did it. But no, yeah, they did.
Stop the podcast! Stop it!
Oh my god, who's in our room? But no, they did the Minions movie. But then the first one of that, with
Despicable Me.
that was alright, wasn't it?
I quite like Despicable Me too.
Yeah.
I didn't
But
see
no.
the third one. Did you see the third one, Alan?
Yeah, I've seen them all.
He's got kids, mate. He's got kids.
Trey Parker's in.
He's not funny. He's not funny in it. It's bad. Number 3 is not a good time.
Do you ever like, so is that because of your kids that you've had to see these movies? Do your kids like really like Minions?
Yes.
And is that a problem for you?
I mean, normally if they watch it, I can just leave. Like I normally don't have to sit down and watch it, but I've just been around it so much that it's tough.
Yeah, have you had to buy them like Minions merchandise and stuff?
No, not really.
I
Right.
imagine Thailand's filled with that.
It is, and it's all junk. But my parents and my wife's parents do bring out quite a bit of like Frozen stuff and like Disney branded stuff.
Stop encouraging them.
Give them Blade Runner on DVD. Hey kids, you want to watch Jaws? No, I want to watch Minions.
Oh man. But so we should probably start wrapping this up.
Wrap it up. Yeah.
If Justice League comes on TV, what are you guys gonna do?
Watch it all. I'm going to go into my room, scream into a pillow, take 3 painkillers, come back downstairs, and then watch it.
Oh,
I think
I'm gonna
Justice
watch
League
it.
time alcohol required.
Yeah, if you get really drunk and are with a group of friends who like don't understand what's happening, it's a good time.
Is this Jeremy Johns?
We wish.
We wish we were Jeremy John.
He is the, what did we describe him as?
Oh, yeah,
the pinnacle of cinematic journalism.
Yeah, we recently did an interview for the only YouTube magazine.
Uh huh.
in the UK, and they asked us what our influences were, and we said that Jeremy Johns is unmatched in cinematic journalism.
So that's going to be published.
Soon.
If Justice League comes on, I'm going to find a second TV and watch Batman and Robin side by side together.
Yeah.
And
I think you need to watch Batman and Robin and tweet at us and because I think you'll realise that actually George Clooney is a better Batman.
I'm gonna do a video essay on this.
My favourite scene in Batman. My favourite scene in Batman and Robin is when Commissioner Gordon is like, he's really fat in it, and he just runs in and he goes, "They got away! You let them get away, Batman!"
Yeah, tell me about your guys' YouTube channel.
Oh yeah,
NitPix.
We review TVs and movies.
We're close to 50,000. We're halfway to the silver play button.
We're halfway. Near 50,000, halfway to 100,000. We're going to make a video reviewing the silver play button when we get it. If we get it, probably won't, but we're nearly there. So give us a sub.
TV and film analysis with a little bit of humour sprinkled on top.
Attempted humour.
So just search NitPix, NitPix. We're also on Twitter.
Give us a follow there.
Give us a follow.
We're always tweeting between each other. Us and I seen that. We're good. We do our thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I seen that's a lovely Patreon.
Yeah, we love him to bits.
Yeah.
And you can follow us on Twitter at ISeenThatPod.